regardless of what we thought of the analysis and the research of the Bardock versus Omni-Man, and we're really interested to see what they're going to do with the analysis for Joker versus Girano. I feel as though the more I've talked about that episode, I've actually gotten more confident saying his name properly. Unless someone in the comments corrects me.
There probably will be.
Yeah, probably. It's really
solution. Just saying a bunch of different ways.
That's kind of what I did at the start, but then I just got used to the one Sean was saying. But you know what? I mentioned on Bardock vs. Omni-Man, like, I rarely ever watch the analysis for Death Battle once I've watched it. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I just want to watch the fight. That tends to be the general consent when it comes to, Death Battle rewatches. I do think there are some analyses that people do just kind of either look down on, or they just, like, they miss the entertainment value of it. Because the main thing is the whole episode's meant to be entertaining, not just the fight. Because I think when it comes to like other versus shows that have tried to do what Death Battle have done, most of the time the analysis are a snore fest. The biggest one is like, Cartoon Fight Club, where it's mostly the YouTuber Animation Rewind just explaining the feats and stuff like that. And that's fine. They're just really unmemorable or boring. I'm not saying, Death Battle analysis had to be like both insightful but also knee-slappingly funny or memorable. But they need to have some entertainment value that makes you want to watch the whole video again, not just the Death Battle.
Yeah, like memorable jokes. Like, for example, like I'm actually using this. Waste vs. Smithsrew, I find that kind of a meh episode. But the "oh shit, we're dead" joke, like, that is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? Funny you actually mentioned that. That was actually going to be something I was also going to bring up, because unlike me, I actually think that was a great episode. Really underrated. I freaking love, like, I know I mentioned in the previous episode that, Wiz and Boozlix segments kind of drag on. When Boozlix trying to go all scientific, explaining like the explosion thing, and he goes like, "See, I'm a scientist too. I tested on live people and got results." Wait, live people? What, Boomstick? What'd you do to interns? And there's this.
Yeah, got you that coat you wanted.
Yeah, and there's like that brief moment where he does the whole anime thing, because he gets the jacket and he goes, "Oh, so soft," and Boozlix goes, "So are the interns."
So are the interns.
Like, I still laugh at that. It's still funny. Like, he could have easily just done a little so are the interns, and just moved on. But the fact he does the anime like glasses where it shines pure white. Oh my god.
I think that was improv.
Yeah. Anderson would be proud.
As well. I don't know. A lot of the Wiz and Boomstick lore is just improv by Ben and Chad while they're recording.
It is true. They do follow a script, but they also go off script a little bit. I think this wasn't in an analysis, but it's a funny reference that when they were talking about Hulk versus Doomsday, and Wiz would mention Bruce Banner's name. Boomstick would originally was going to say, Bruce Banner. That sounds kind of gay, because the joke was the TV show that came out for Hulk years ago. What's he called?
Yeah, David? They changed it to David.
Yeah, and Stanley was always confused by that. And the producer said, "Well, we just think that sounds too gay." And boy, what will those people think about certain Marvel characters now? But yeah,
who knows?
It's just funny. I wish that kind of made it in the analysis, but I could kind of understand why it didn't, because in this day and age, you can't really mock certain people in a certain way. Even though that was kind of a light-hearted joke, And plus, it's from Boomstick, who's this redneck person. It wouldn't sound too off, but even then, I do think, a lot of Bruce Banner. You know what? Actually, speaking of Hulk versus Doomsday, I love the whole mocking Doomsday's professor. I don't even remember his name. That was a boring comment. Wow, the fact you remember him is. I'll give you credit.
Look, I remember watching this analysis.
At least...
Fake DC, fake Marvel, fake DC fan, fake.
No, I'm a fraud. I mean, no, listen, if you actually read that comic book, it's such a boring origin story to such a cool character. Hell, in the actual comic book, he actually had no plans for Doomsday. It is so stupid. Yeah, he had no plans for if he created this ultimate life form. Oh, I'm going to create this super powerful being that could be indestructible. And then what? I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. Go to McDonald's, I guess. Like, seriously, he had no plans.
Like, okay, Shadow was to help cure Maria. Cell was to kill Goku. At least
Doomsday, made out of boredom.
Well,
basically.
No, it was Ego. He was like, I want to create the ultimate life form. And it's like, wow, you actually did it, Bertrand, but he's about to kill us. Huh. Here's the other dumb part. He never had a contingency plan if Doomsday betrayed him.
Because, as we've said, because Bertrand is the worst.
Yeah, seriously, that whole segment, I really felt as though that was like the writers and Ben just ranting about how crap of a villain he was. He's not even a villain, he's a side character. Doomsday's the real villain. Just really sucks he has a really boring origin story. At least in that continuity, most of the time he's just a monster that was either founded or created by Darkseid. Why is it sometimes the coolest villains get the lamest origin stories? But yeah, that whole analysis of just trashing on Bertram was like just great. And even that last panel where it shows the guy just looking at his impending doom and we're just going, and that's because Bertram is the worst. It was both like an entertaining analysis, and also it was just funny. Like I said, I feel as though analysis just also need to be funny at the same time, which is something like I brought up Cartoon Fight Club. You know, just making a meme reference doesn't make you funny. Like, you know, there's got to be some substance to it. You know.
Right.
So whereas
I mean, I can name a case for Death Battle where they also had some bizarre lore to Wiz. In Blake v. Mikasa, in the midst of talking about different dust and how Blake uses them, Boomstick just chucks them. Then cut to Wiz's bone and frozen corpse. And he's like, oh no, I killed him and it wasn't on purpose! Wiz clone shows up. Oh, don't worry, just some cloning. It's a hobby. Don't ask if I'm the original. I genuinely don't know anymore. Okay.
You know, I remember mentioning in the past, like, I wasn't too entertained by Blake versus Mikasa's analysis where I thought the fight was great. You know, I will give credit. That was actually a pretty memorable one. That just came back to me. I'm like, huh, why did I suppress that one?
Yeah, and I know some people will say, oh, the fart joke. I also love, like, after that, when that Wiz just collapses and Dummy just comes in so fed up, and he's just like, I'll get another clone.
Yeah.
It's the way he says it. Just like, oh, another one's dead. All right.
Speaking of, like, even those bits of analysis, like, there's another segment, like, this is funny enough in Boomstick and Wiz's first, like, visual debut in an episode. In Mario vs. Sonic the rematch, like, when Wiz is, like, explaining, like, the different abilities that Mario has, I liked about how he was testing them on, like, Boomstick. Like, the time stopper, and the brief moment when Boomstick goes, like, stop doing that. Wait, where's my wallet? The thing that's funny is that we don't actually see what happened to his wallet, because we see Wiz and Boomstick just in frame. So it's like, did he move fast enough to grab his wallet, or did someone sneak up behind Boomstick and steal his wallet because they saw an opportunity? But also, like, you know, turning into gold coins and freezing him, and then when he reverts him back, like, Boomstick's like, oh, I've seen things. It's both.
And they bring that back in, like, Link v. Cloud. Wiz stops time and just watch Boomstick's eyes as they're, like, shifting around as Wiz is trying to dodge the subject of what Boomstick was about to bring up.
Yeah, like, I feel as though, like, the analysis is really entertaining, not just in terms of learning characters, because, like I mentioned with the whole Sonic and Mario rematch, you know, Wiz is being informative, and he's also providing, like, you know, visual comedy for the viewers. So it's something to laugh at, but also you get to learn something.
Yeah. And a visual gag I always love in Great vs. Esdeath. after talking about how Gray resists cold, like because he strips down and whatnot. Boomsticker's all, wait, so you get ice powers from stripping? Rips his shirt. Oil me up, Wiz! Then he explains what the thing is. He just has a stripper pole for no reason and just like ascends it.
Hey, look, man, if you're already committed to the role, you gotta do it. Sure, do you have any like memorable like analysis portion? Was there something in the analysis that you also think is important for Death Battle that doesn't have to be more important than the fight, but is essential to make it an insane episode?
I think when they nail a character's analysis with a good balance of comedy and just showing how insane they are, makes a really good analysis. One of my favorite analysis, and it's probably why it's my favorite episode of season 2. I just still love Scorpion's analysis.
Oh yeah,
like them covering Hanzo as a whole was really well done.
Yeah, I also still love the funny music sound effect they included when Scorpion got knocked down the stairs. It was the Charlie Brown of the Mortal Kombat timeline.
He was at the time, and then there's also Cooking with Scorpion, where you learn about chopping.
In the corner. Yes, this is real.
Yeah. I can't remember where that originated from, but they actually had that hidden in the Mortal Kombat 9 crypt. The crypt is like somewhere you go to. It was basically like, loot boxes. You go to a random grave, you pay enough money. You might get jump scared, which is always a bitch move when you're trying to like get a good costume. But then you could find that clip of Cooking with Scorpion. So
nice.
The fact they remembered that and put that in the reboot was great.
Yeah, it's an analysis I look fondly on because I think not only was the character handled well, like for his lore at the time, but also just the jokes really landed with everything they did with him.
That is actually a good point you actually bring up about like, analysis also needs to pay respect to the characters. And the one that's always stuck with me a lot was the Chosen Undead for Dark Souls, because they didn't only just talk about the character, they kind of also talked about, the message of Dark Souls. Like, what is Dark Souls about? And yeah, the depressing factor is, which I really looked forward to seeing Mate and Sean's reactions, like the realization that Dark Souls is kind of depressing because there's no real happy ending. But the message that Jocelyn said at the end, like, whichever route you took, it's just a matter of that you went the distance, and because it gave you meaning. And it ends with like your chosen undead putting his fist in the air saying, I'm gonna carry on, like, with my adventure
and find a place where you belong.
It's like it's kind of like
sorry, wrong song.
It's kind of like a bittersweet ending. As every reaction I've seen with that episode when they end that analysis, many people are just like, damn, because it is such a deep meaning behind Dark Souls. But I've always never saw the endings of Dark Souls like sad, because you accomplished your goal no matter the hurdles you took on. Death Battle really emphasized that in the analysis, showing that, yeah, the chosen undead went through hell, sometimes literal hell, but regardless of the outcome, they went through with it. And in the end, that's all you can ask for. I don't know, that was a really respectful like analysis. And it's one that I think has probably done a lot of justice for these type of characters. Including, like you mentioned, Scorpion.
Yeah, even then, like, I was going to bring this up, just like both analysis for Skyrim and Dark Souls were both really well done, especially with the contrast of games that they are. The more serious, darker tone, compared to, like, with a little bit of story, the comedic tone of Skyrim. I think having two analyses like that also were really well done for that episode.
Oh, good. The fact they acknowledged the whole giant ragdoll glitch was perfect.
Well, what about you, Mate? Is there like a character's analysis that you really enjoyed because of how well they handled them?
I mean, aside from the obvious answer.
Well, yeah, aside from the obvious answer.
Well, actually, no. Why not you go with the obvious one first? Because
people expect it.
Yeah, but you can go into more detail about the analysis, I guess.
I mean, I've also talked about it like a whole bunch of times before, so
yeah, fair enough.
I'll put the focus on others, but yes, I love Blake's analysis and Mika's. But I'd also like throw out like Goku and Superman's, which is how both of them wrap up.
Which one? Because he did it 3 times.
The most recent one.
Yeah, I think,
There you go.
You know, I think when people remember the analysis
actually, even
for Goku vs Superman 1, I don't think they did Superman justice in the first one, looking back on it.
Goku, absolutely.
Because Superman was because I feel as though a bit of Chad's hatred towards Superman kind of like made its way in Superman's analysis, where, you know, Superman is just meant to be this limitless character. I remember seeing this YouTuber, I can't remember his name, but
I think that was really the case in the second one.
Yeah, because I can't remember this YouTuber I watched, but he did a review on like one of the Justice League animated episodes, talking about, you know, what people miss about Superman, and he used a death battle clip talking about Superman, because talking about, you know, one that has no limits to conquer, which I think that wasn't Go for Superman 2. But it was in both, because the whole point was like, what happens if you put a man with the ability to break limits versus a man with no limits in the first place? Yeah, and I think that really did kind of damage a lot of Superman's reputation, because people just saw him, oh, Superman's a boring character with no limits to counter. Superman's limit is that he is a god amongst men, and Death Battle 1 and 2 just did not emphasize that. You know, the struggle of having so much power in your hands, literally.
Yeah.
And
although at least the first one had that "I live in a world made of cardboard" clip.
Yeah, but when you think about that, was like mostly a clip. But when you compare like the analysis, like, you know, paying respects to the character, you didn't really get that in Goku vs. Superman. At least with Goku, you kind of did, but not with Superman. Superman was kind of treated as that, you know, Goku's better as a character, Superman's not. And that's not the intent.
Right.
I know it, but you can understand why many of Superman's reputations kind of ruined because of those episodes. I do think the third one definitely paid both respect to both franchises. Not even just
for sure.
Not just talking about, oh, how great these characters are. Talking about the legacy that they have, like, started in their debut. Like, I feel as though without Dragon Ball and Goku, we probably wouldn't have 90% of the protagonists we get in anime now.
Oh, no. Like, hell, Naruto and Luffy were partly inspired by Goku.
Yeah, like, strongly. And heck, Superman, the first ever superhero, like Spider-Man, Omni-Man and Homelander, but for wrong reasons. But characters like Thor, and it's maybe some influence from, you know, Spawn, because the character behind Spawn also has a lot of respect for Superman. In fact, I think Superman's the only hero he has respect for. Oh, no, also Batman. Mainly because one of the intro dialogues in Mortal Kombat, if you have Raiden about to fight Spawn, he'll say, "You've also battled against the Caped Crusader." He'll go like, "The billionaire playboy, he's a friend." Hey, you know what? If Batman can say Spawn's his friend, you know what? He's definitely made some good friends in his relationship. But so many heroes, even DC's characters, kind of been inspired by Superman. I mean, hell, Martian Manhunter and Wonder Woman characters now definitely take some inspiration from Superman.
Yeah.
And I just like the fact their analysis actually kind of emphasized, like, yeah, this is why people love Superman, and James Gunn, don't fuck him up. I'm just saying, this is maybe our only opportunity to get the newer generation into Superman. That's all I'm saying. You know, I say that, you know, there was that really awesome My Adventures Superman show that's come out with a season 3 renewed. I can't wait. I love that show.
I'm trying to think of what other analyses I really liked.
Mate, you say you've talked about Blake's analysis. You technically actually haven't talked about it on Lads Discuss Death Battle.
No, I swear I've talked about it.
Not really, because when the episode came out, you're already doing Robust Cast. I didn't have time.
We did review it.
Yeah, we reviewed it.
I guess technically...
Like, we talked about it after the episode came out.
Okay, that is actually true. Yeah, we did do that.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But I just kind of thought, hey, why not bring it up again? Because this is talking about the analysis, and you get to talk about more about how... Because one of the controversies about that episode is that people say they didn't do Mikasa justice, so do you want to counteract that?
Wait, that's what people thought?
Well, there was other factors people didn't like about the
apparently.
episode, but like when that episode came out, people were talking about on Twitter how they thought Mikasa just wasn't given like her best feat, or the fact that she lost to Blake. Which I was quite surprised by. I really thought that episode was a stomp. but I've been looking at a lot of Reddit forums, and people do actually agree that Mikasa could potentially win. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, no, Blake just wins. Like, as someone who loves both, like, yeah, like, Blake wins.
I think it could be a factor of, like, maybe because Attack on Titan's more popular, more... That's always happened with, like, analysis. People...
Yeah, but there's also that one factor of the Death Battle fan base.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think the Ruby hatred is that far in the Death Battle fan base. Yes, the Yang Tifa episode... You know, here's the thing. People talk about, oh, how that episode's dated. Do people not forget when they live streamed that episode, that when they did the poll for that episode, Yang had, like, a whopping 60% of votes?
Yeah. Plus, hell, I remember, like, leading up to that episode, people were saying, like, oh, I don't know who this is. Then they start watching Ruby, and they're just like, I love Yang. She's, like, my favorite character. I hope she wins.
Yeah. Funny enough, at that time, I was only just getting into Ruby, and I remember seeing the Yang teaser, and I was just like, huh. Go figure. Funny enough, that was at the same time I was just getting into Death Battle as well. Like, I saw Deadpool versus Deathstroke, and then I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see what's more. I was like, oh, they're about to reveal next episode. Yang versus Tifa.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Actually, do you want... That's a point to bring up. Deadpool versus Deathstroke.
I was actually going to bring up a sweet thing about Yang v Tifa.
Okay, bring that up then, because I definitely want to talk about that to end things off.
That's actually in part of how me and Kia became friends.
Aww.
Like we started talking originally because of that, and then we bonded over Ruby.
Aww.
I think that was the last fight we watched, oddly enough, for yesterday's event.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty sweet, mate. But also pretty gay.
Be nice.
I am being nice. Gay means happy. Look up the original meaning of gay. What did you think I was implying?
Yeah, Sean.
Hmm?
Never know with Bill. You never know.
Also, people, I'm actually not kidding. Look up the original definition of gay. It actually used to mean happy.
I remember when we grew up and that was what we were taught.
Yeah. So does that mean...
Also, while you're at it, look up an old term for a bundle of sticks.
Also, I kind of want to make this joke now that I brought up the whole gay happy thing. Does that mean being happy is considered woke now? Is that going to be a thing that Trump's going to say? From now on, we no longer can be happy. I watched Let's Discuss Death Battle. They're really entertaining, guys.
Let's not.
Go, stop that impression. Stop it right now.
Oh, you...
Look, we already made politics jokes in our last lads debate. Shameless plug. Go check that out.
I just wanted to finish off that joke. Come on.
Fair enough.
Nah, Sean hates funny. You're being a Turok right now in the last D&D episode. Link in the description below. But anyway, you know, jokes ruined aside, like, there is one analysis that I think many people do remember, because not only is this one of the most watched death battles next to Goku vs Superman, I think if you were to look on, like, the YouTube's, like, most watched segments, most of it isn't Deadpool's analysis, for the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And that was my first ever death battle.
That's one hell of a one to start on. Good one at that.
It always appeared in my recommendation, because obviously I was into crossovers and fighting animations, and that one just always appeared on the side, and one day I just finally bit the bullet and was like, yeah, do you know what? Screw it. I started watching more episodes. I tried to binge from season 1. Boy, to go from Deadpool 2 to Boba Fett versus Samus at the time. Like, wow.
Yeah. By the way, I just filtered popular on the Death Battle YouTube channel. Deadpool Deathstroke is the second most viewed episode ever.
Yeah.
At over 42 million views.
For right reasons, because the analysis is just pure comedy. Not just in Deadpool's analysis, but also Deathstroke's. I know Deathstroke's doesn't have that many memorable moments, but 2 jokes always stem from my mind from Deathstroke's. One, when Wiz is trying to be emotional about why Deathstroke can't heal his eyes, like, maybe because, I can't remember the exact quote, but, the emotional damage can never be repaired. And Booster goes,
not even a healing factor can cure the deepest of emotional wounds.
That was it. And Booster just goes, "Oh, that's bullshit." Like, canonically, yeah, that's why Deathstroke never heals that eye, even though he totally could. But it's because it's a reminder of his mess up. But also, when it reveals Deathstroke and the build up to it, and then you just see little scribbles around him, and Wizard's just like, "Really?" And Deadpool's like, "Don't forget to like and subscribe." Like, that is an episode that I think many people go back to watch, not just because the fight is not only amazing, the analysis is also so goddamn funny.
There's also that bit where it was just like, oh, he also has a super bomb, which is just a flashbang grenade with trace bits of kryptonite. Guess who that's for? The guy who fought Goku in the most biased fanboy video ever. Shut up, Wade. Okay, Ben.
Yeah, like, the fourth wall breaks and stuff like that was great. And don't get me wrong, future Deadpool episodes also continued on that trend of being funny. Did they kind of overuse Deadpool breaking the fourth wall, tormenting Wizard Boomsday? Yeah, I guess over time. I feel like Deadpool versus Deathstroke is peak Deadpool comedy. Pinkie Pie versus Deadpool is also, comes in second and being funny, especially with them breaking out the actual fight just to, mess with other death battles. Also, Wiz just erasing Deadpool, and he goes like, "No,
no, I won't go the way of Amazing Spider-Man."
Yeah, just pure.
Didn't that just recently happen too?
What,
Amazing Spider-Man getting cancelled?
Oh, Amazing Spider-Man always gets cancelled. Well, it doesn't get cancelled. It more so, they reboot it. Typical.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, I mean the movie franchise.
Movie franchise?
Andrew Garfield.
Oh, I thought you meant recently, the comic books Amazing Spider-Man.
No, I meant when that episode came out.
Probably Future Bill, when you're editing, please put that on screen if that did happen.
Wait, no, that was 2016, wasn't it? That was when Civil War came out.
Anyway.
I don't know.
So, my final take on death battle analysis is that I do think the analysis not only is just important in terms of research and showing the feats. I think it also serves as just as much an entertainment factor as the death battle. Yes, I won't lie. Is there more analysis, more entertaining? No, I will admit. I think there are more, snooze fest analysis than there are entertaining ones.
Yeah, I mean, part of the analysis just kind of come from oh, I like this character a lot. Hearing them talk about them and how cool they are, that's something that resonates with me personally.
Yeah, and plus, some people just prefer just to watch the fights anyway. Even if you look at some analytics of reaction videos, people just skip to when the fight happens.
That is true.
And then they complain. Wait, why does he have this? Why can he do that? Why doesn't that work? What's going on? And everyone's like, "What's the analysis?"
I think he's talking about reaction videos.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What? No, I meant...
There were those reactors who just watched the fight.
No, I meant Sean...
No.
Meaning that
That's
viewers...
not what I was saying at all, mate.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, Sean was saying, viewers...
Oh, okay, so they just... Okay, that's what you're getting at, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
seen my analytics.
Unlike me, I'm a good friend. I watch their videos from back to back. I know this because I had to hear both Sean and Mate go, "It's fucking back" for the 50th time.
Again, it's for clickbait purposes.
I had to say it.
But yeah, I do think though people do tend to treat the analysis as just, it's just that aspect to explain things and it's not entertaining. Because I just never hear people talk about the analysis that often. But I think the analysis also deserves some appreciation. It can be funny, it can be informative, it can even be emotional at times. Goku vs Superman, Dragonborn versus Chosen Undead, they're pretty emotional episodes. Or even even though this episode did kind of get ruined at the end of it, Deadpool and the Mask, it was meant to be a commentary on spite fights and stuff like that. Wiz and Booster felt bad for what they did to Deadpool, just putting him in a rigged fight. It did get made redundant because they just the Mask just planted a way for Deadpool to come back. But I thought the message was still good. And
yeah.
Well, there's also analysis that can also just give you a whole new appreciation for a character. That was the case for me in Link vs. Cloud, like the remake.
Yeah, it can even introduce people to characters they've never heard of before, and they either can't be bothered to watch like the many stories of the characters. I think that was with me with Killua versus Misaka. Like, you know, well, my problem was I watched the first season of the main series. That turns out that she was a side character in that, and she's actually from the spin-off series that people say is much better than the original. And I was like, well, that's good to know now. I did actually eventually go ahead and watch Railgun. It's actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. And, yeah. Mikasa is a pretty good... Misa is a good character. In terms of analysis-wise for that episode, though, I don't remember it being that great. I just remember just being slightly interested in the character thanks to it.
Yeah, I think overall, while most people do come for the fights and to see reasoning, the analysis just analyzing the character is so underappreciated.
Yeah, it really is. And I think people should go ahead and even go back to Season 1 and check out some of the analysis, because I've kind of even said this in the past, like the whole...
Skip any episode that has a female combatant, though. Analysis-wise, I mean, because of old Boomstick.
People kind of cringe at old Wiz and Boomstick, but it's like... People do tend to forget these people are psychopaths. Like, they're not good
I mean,
people.
that's true.
Like, Wiz has talked about world domination, and Boomstick is a pervert and serial killer, confirmed thanks to Weiss versus Mitsuru. But yeah, it's
there was also actually it just reminded me of a thing from Luke versus Harry.
Yeah,
like one of his the killing curse, Avada Kedavra, but Boomstick pronounced it abracadabra, and he's like, "Oh, that magician wasn't trying to kill me. I guess I should go apologize to his family."
Yeah, see what I mean? Like,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like stuff like that, but. There's also a very controversial analysis with like the TMNT Battle Royale, which I'm really gutted didn't become like a rematch episode. It probably will someday. Give Michelangelo more respect, Wiz. But people get mad at the whole, oh, Wiz said the R word. And I'm just like, fuck off. You were in secondary school or high school, you said that word at some point.
Yeah.
All three of us have used
Everyone's guilty of using that word.
In fact, given the name of one of these people, they actually have legal rights to say it on this video. But please don't, Sean.
Redundant.
Exactly. But yeah, I think the analysis is also just as important as the death battle. Not just in terms of, like, you know, the research. Just in terms of entertainment. It can be funny, it can be memorable, it can be controversial. You know, given the last episode. And that's all I've got to really say about analysis. People, just give it a chance. You know, there might be some that you tend to forget about because you're just so fixated on the fight that you might miss some golden gems of humor that Death Battle sneak in now and then.
Yeah, even some subtle ones like in Ghost Rider v Scorpion. Yeah, they do that like plug with the shirts, but afterwards when Boomstick is just like looking at the camera and giving it the eyes, like not a lot of people talk about that, and I think that's a funny little detail.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, yeah, I look good in this show, don't I?
I guess as we'll end off this segment and as well as this recording session. Unless you guys
that works for me.
Unless you guys have any final says
you
want to say?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright then. Well, thank you all so much for watching not only this episode as well as the previous episodes, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Lads Discuss Death Battle. And what did you think about Omni-Man versus Bardock? What did you think about the next time? And no doubt both episodes are going to be controversial in different ways. And what do you think about analysis and Death Battle? Do you think it's do you think it's not as entertaining? Do you think it's overlooked in terms of like entertainment value? Regardless, leave your comments down below, and hey, join our Discord if you want to get involved in more conversations as well as game sessions. And be sure to share this video around, keep the channel growing. Farewell, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.